Hello there, welcome to the Ramble review, and today we're talking about Mortal Kombat 1. Now, I'm not going to spoil the story yet, but I'm going to give you the basic rundown. Basically, Liu Kang from MK11 has become the Keeper of Time, and he's made a whole brand new timeline. And the point of this one is to kind of avoid any of the big conflicts from the previous timeline. So some things are different here. Raiden's human. Um, Melina is actually Katana's sister, like blood related and everything, stuff like that. So the plot from here goes that Liu Kang is setting up for the Mortal Kombat tournament, which is a little bit more friendly than the original version. So he gets Raiden, Kung Lao, Johnny Cage, Kenshi. So he starts gathering people for this tournament, and that's how. And he even works for the Lin Kuei, which has Kuai Liang, who was the second Sub-Zero, was actually um, a Scorpion in this timeline. Hanzo is nowhere to be seen. So yeah, so that's basically it. They're just doing this little tournament, which is more of an exhibition match. And while all this is going on, in the background, you see a Shang Tsung that's being lured in by another power, saying that he's meant for something more, because since this is Liu Kang's timeline, Shang Tsung's kind of in the shitter. And so he's making moves to become more powerful and everything, working with this force. And Liu Kang and Geras, who's here too as well, who's helping Liu Kang as the Keeper of Time, tells him that something is going on in the background. So the main plot is Liu Kang trying to squash all this, trying to save his timeline at at any cost. Like he's trying to just save it so it can be peaceful and not fucked up like the previous one. And that's the basic premise. The characters are pretty fine. Johnny Cage, Kenshi, and Kung Lao is actually pretty entertaining, especially Kenshi's and Johnny Cage's bond. Like they kind of have a beef with each other at the start, but become a little more friendly, so on and so forth. And that development is pretty cool. Reptile's a bit different here as well. He gets time to shine. Even Baraka, and this was actually pretty nice as well to see them shine. Even Melina gets a chapter, though she's a bit different here from her original self. Even though she has like the teeth and everything, but that's because the Tarkatan, hopefully I'm saying it correctly, is a disease this time instead of like a race, but it kind of becomes a race because it's a disease. You know what I'm saying? But she has that infliction because the blood touch and everything. So that's basically the premise. Like the characters get certain characters get a little bit more love than what they gotten in previous games. I will say that Johnny Cage kind of, like, if I had to choose, because this is a reboot universe in a way. If I were to compare this Johnny Cage to MK9 Johnny Cage, since it's from both the NetherRealm studio, I will take 9. I find him a little less and more cringy and annoying compared to this one, because this one has some lines that made me kind of roll my eyes and just go, ugh, like this is stupid. It's not funny. But yeah, the characters are fine. The story goes off the deep end at some point. Um, and there are a lot of changes in this that I was not a fan of. And the more I think about it, the more I kind of got annoying. So the game kind of starts okay story-wise, but as it keeps going, it just turns to garbage. Like, in my opinion, like it just turns to crap. And I had so many problems with it the more I thought about it. And I'm just like, some people might find this a little less, I guess, offensive than MK11, what, like, say what they did with Sindel, because that, like, I'll say off the bat, that's they fix that problem. Like, if you're wondering, oh man, is Sindel just evil over Sin? No, she's how she was before in the Midway timeline. So yeah, that's, oh my god. But that's how I feel. The story starts off decently at the start, and then it just fucking goes off rails as it keeps going, and it just kind of irks me and everything. I'm gonna Now I am gonna spoil stuff in a few seconds, So if you want to see the other aspects of what I talked about the game, like the gameplay modes and so on and so forth, I will make timestamp on this video to say when to save. So yeah, I'm about to go in spoilers for the story, and 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there are some really stupid things here. Um, like the Melina, like this interpretation for her is okay because they gave it a little bit more, uh, I guess, in more depth. That's like this is like the minimal one, like the minimal complaint. Like she got a little bit, but she kind of comes off as boring at the same time. Like none of that aggressiveness and like what draws usually fans to her is here. She's kind of milk toast almost in a way. So even though she got her own chapter, and Tanya, who's here too, which they've like shipped before in the other games, and here it's pretty much obvious as well. She has no personality. She doesn't look like Tanya. Her personality can be summed up in "Are you okay, Melina?" and that's it. That's the personality of Tanya. Let's put it this way. She had more personality in Mortal Kombat X with the short screen time she had there compared to here. She fucking sucks here. Another part of the story that I hate is the fact that the tournament is an exhibition, is no longer for the fates of the realms, which fucking takes all of the weight away from this tournament. It's no longer like interesting or has any weight, like I said, weight to it. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna have the exhibition so we could kind of be in a good mood with Outworld, kind of, because like even if like say if Earthrealm does win, it's like what's stopping Outworld again from just straight up attacking them, just being nice? They can still just attack. There's nothing, there's no rules or anything. It's just like, hey, we're just being nice, because it seems like there's no elder gods either in this fucking universe that Liu Kang made. It's just him as the keeper of time. So yeah, like everything that makes Mortal Kombat, the tournament itself is just gone. All of that weight gone. It's kind of like a throwaway thing. Right, and even being the Mortal Kombat champion means jack shit. Liu Kang was the Mortal Kombat champion in previous like timelines, the NRS and Midway, and he was treated as this big deal. The Mortal Kombat champion, the one who stopped Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn. He was the guy. He was treated like that. In this universe, the Mortal Kombat champion is equal to a participation award. It's nothing. It's crap. Like that. It again takes away more of the mystique and weight away from the whole Mortal Kombat mythos. The Great Kung Lao, he really no longer exists, because yes, there was a Great Kung Lao in this universe, but he was just some dude, some bald-headed dude that really did nothing amazing. He just like participated in the tournament once a while and everything. There's no more that epic like and tragic fight between him and Goro. Goro here is a non-character as well. Um, it's just gone. Like all that, all the myth, like the mystique and everything to Mortal Kombat, is history, its lore is just thrown away. And there's no like, again, no weight. I know I keep saying that, but it just makes everything really flat. It makes this whole tournament just pointless. It's just dumb in this universe. And then yes, we're back with the character chapter system, which I don't know why they keep using it, because that brings up another problem. Yes, we get to see Reptile finally shine. We get, and a little bit more personality. We get Baraka. He gets more time to shine too. Like two characters that don't get that much love in character chapters, at least in the NRS era, maybe in the Midway era too a little bit. They get it. But at the same time, other characters are just left on the side. Raiden, again, who is the Mortal Kombat champion, who becomes the Mortal Kombat champion in this game, after his chapter, he basically is a non-entity. He just disappears. Like, what? Like, that doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, he's the Mortal Kombat champion. Again, they make it mean nothing. He just vanishes. No one gives a shit about him, really. He's just kind of off to the side. Maybe he's there, but he sure as hell doing jack and shit. they bring in 3D era characters, Havoc, Natara, Ashra. I'm saying her name right. Ashra gets a little bit of love. She doesn't get that tarnished. Havoc is not Havoc at all. If you heard of Havoc and how awesome he is in the 3D era, this is not Havoc. No, this is not him. Natara does something either, and she got a horrible celebrity voice actress. I would say it's even worse than the Ronda Rousey situation with Sonya Blade for MK11. This is like almost as worse. The only reason it's not, I guess, it's kind of like almost like side by side the same, is because Natara's voice is utter shit. They don't use her really. She's here for like 5 seconds and again disappears. Sonya is kind of around for a lot in MK11, so you keep hearing it and you're just like, ugh. So that's the only reason, because if Sonya was not around for a long time in MK11, I would say hands down Natara is way worse than the Ronda Rousey situation. But since Sonya is around, it kind of makes them more side by side the same kind of badness. But yeah, and then the whole twist is that Shang Tsung, from the timeline of him winning and killing Liu Kang, is the one that's behind everything. So now we have the multiverse in Mortal Kombat, which again is fucking stupid, because now the writers would use it as a crutch for everything. Because by the time the game ends, the multiverse isn't gone. Anyone from any other universe can still jump right in. In fact, that's why it exactly fucking happens at the end credits with another Havoc, which I guess he might be like the actual 3D era Havoc. I'm not holding my breath. But yeah, so they just made a crutch for writing and to be lazy by having the multiverse in this fucking thing. Yeah, it's kind of cool at the end that you could pick who you want to win the multiverse fight, but at the same time, it's just no, it just makes more issues. Oh my god. So yeah, and then there's like some people say, like I said before in the non-spoiler section, that yeah, Sindel is not evil for any, like, for random reasons like MK11 was. And people are like, yeah, they fixed it. Yeah, let's congratulate them for fixing the mistake they already made at MK11. I'm not going to give them credit for that. They fucked it up in the first place. No, yeah, thank you for fixing what was not broken in the first place, and you broke it. That's not gonna let them slide. Like, oh my god! And then you got jobbers. Reiko is in this game. He's a jobber. Shao Kahn looks like shit, and he's a utter jobber. It's even worse, and it's even worse compared to the previous games. Like, it's just so bad. In this game, like I said, the character chapter system, you either disappear. Sorry about the alarm. I'm in the projects, like I said before. You either disappear or you're an utter jobber. And there's a lot. There's even characters they mention. I believe Shiva and some other characters they mention who get defeated off screen. They don't got a character model. They say, they lost in the tournament. And it's just, oh my god. The fact that we get to see characters we don't usually get to see in chapters that we don't usually get to see in the character chapters doesn't negate the fact that we still get our jobbers who don't do anything, characters who disappear. We still get all that. So yeah, it's nice to see Reptile get some shine after being jobbed out all this time. But it doesn't negate everything else. It's all fucking garbage. Like I said, it started okay and just got worse and worse and worse. And fucking another thing is Bihan. He was never outright super evil in the original timeline. There was some goodness in him. When you play Mythologies, you could see it. The PS1 and 64 game, you could see it. He was in this game. He's a twirling mustache villain, basically. He even says, "Yeah, I killed our father," and what, basically, like, oh my god. And Kuai Lan is just Wish.com version of Scorpion. He is not Scorpion. He will never be Scorpion, no matter how much the game tries to tell me he's Scorpion. Oh my god. Another big twist is Ermac. This one is actually, I'm fine with this one. Is Ermac becomes Jared, basically, and they've hinted this throughout, even I believe even the Midway games. They've hinted at this a bunch of times through endings and everything, so it's kind of nice to see it happen in the actual story. But it doesn't save this mess of a plot of the characters just disappearing, doing nothing. I don't care. By the time I was finished, I was like, oh, this is so dumb. This is such a big mess. And the more and more I thought about it, the more I got angry, the more the tournament means shit, being the champion means shit. Uh, the character's job being disappearing, like, is all a mess. There are some decent spots in this story, but that doesn't save from everything else. That's a big fucking problem. Yeah, so again, overall, it starts off fine, then just turns to shit with the whole multiverse and other problems I have with the entire plot, man. It's just, so yeah, we're back from the spoilers, and yeah, that was frustrating. So now let's get on to something a little more positive. Gameplay. The gameplay is actually fun in this game. Uh, People, the first time this game was shown, like, to certain, I guess, YouTubers and stuff, they say, oh, this speed is like amazing, way faster than MK11, and no, it's not. It's MK11. Yeah, it's MK11, just a little bit faster. Not like night and day. This is not 9 or 10 speed. It's just a little boost to MK11 speed. Like, so much so that, yeah, I noticed it, but I wasn't like, oh my god. But anyway, yeah, the combat is fun. They brought stuff back like the breakers to break combos. That attack and defense meter for MK11's gone. That recharges by itself. It's just simple. You got your 3 bars. You can use all 3 to do a breaker from a combo. You can do enhanced moves, and now instead of pressing a button during the combo like MK11, and this one is how EX enhanced moves usually work for most of the fighters, which is you gotta press it at the same time. There's no just doing the combo and then pressing it when you feel like it. It took a little time getting used to after playing K11 for a while, but it was fun. It was fine. The cameo system is a nice addition as well, which is kind of making it like a tag fighter in a way, but not really. This is like an assist fighter basically, and the cameo system, the depending who you pick. So like I pick Frost, her cameo attacks. There's, I believe, 3 or 4. I'm trying to remember. Like Frost she has a ground freeze. She has an ice ball that she could send out. And she has a spike that she could come out and do. So yeah, it's like basically like 3 attacks. Yeah, like 3 attacks each cameo has. If there's one more, I must have just forgot. Probably for certain characters, because I don't use every single cameo. Yeah, these were actually pretty fun. It helps being creative with combos and such. There's 2 different types of cameo attacks. One is you can't do during a combo. Is more like a standing still. So like uh, Frost's ice ball head thing, you can't do it during a whole combo. Or Kano's eye laser and stuff like that. Like you can't like set it up that well during the combo. But like Kano's ball attack, you could do a combo and press it just at the right time to set up to like a longer combo. The ice, Frost's ice, you could slide ice. You could slap someone twice and do the ice, and that continue the combo. And one thing they also added here too is air combos, which was I think the first time Mortal Kombat was in Armageddon, like a big air combo focus. This game, and this game has it. In this game, you could do air combos. You could bounce people up, which then you could do cameos to freeze them or prolong the air combos, stuff like that. There's a lot of creativity with the combos, which is really fun. I actually really enjoy this. It's not perfect in the sense that, of course, you had some broken cameos, and some characters are still pretty fucking busted too, like Johnny Cage and Raiden. But one of the cameos they did fix was Cyrax, which had a really broken twirl attack that people would just get frustrated how much chip damage it did. They nerfed the hell out of that, so now you see a lot less of that. But yeah, like the core combat Even though it's not perfect, like when it comes to balance and everything, it's fun. It's not like super broken or anything like compared to, I guess you could say MKX, which has some really broken shit, or MK9, which was really broken. But I would say MK11 is a little more balanced compared to MK1. But this combat system I had fun with, just like I had fun with MK11 with its combat, even though both are pretty different. Okay, back to the negative, which it comes to modes. One of the big modes in this is Invasion mode, which is a giant board game in which you go around, you do fights. Some fights have like statuses to it and stuff. So like armor for the character, the floor is on fire, uh, and so on and so forth. And then also they added like a RPG element to it, as you can level up your character, level the attack, so on and so forth. Each character has elementals to them, which I wish they kind of didn't, because it kind of makes some fights longer. Because while you can, even if you're using the element that doesn't work well with the person you're fighting with, you can still beat them, but the health would take way longer to drop down. And sometimes I don't want to change my character. I pick the character because I want to have fun with this character. So I kind of wish they got rid of that elemental crap. But yeah, basically it's a board game, and the whole goal is just to walk around and make it to the exit. What's pretty cool about the invasions is there's actually like a story to it. So like, and this going by the seasons. So like the first season was Scorpion season. So this was it's hard to explain this without spoiling and everything. So I'm gonna do a quick spoiler little thing to talk about the story of Invasion. So yeah, 3, 2, 1. The thing of Invasions is that since this is now a multiverse in Mortal Kombat, each season is based on like a story of a different version of a character coming on. So season 1 was Scorpion coming from a different timeline, and he's going other timelines trying to save his wife. And this is like the real Scorpion. That's why it's Hanzo. Um, trying to find his wife and everything, and it gives you like a little cut scene and so on and so on. Actually, pretty cool. The second season was Natara coming from a different realm, sucking blood and everything. The third season that I think that by the time this video happens was Sub-Zero coming from a different timeline, who's like super evil and cold and powerful. Even though this one he's kind of evil anyway, so it's kind of redundant. But anyway, but is that, and then you get a little cutscene from the beginning, and then you get a cutscene at the end of how Liu Kang and you push the invading multiverse characters away. So that's a nice little thing. I actually like that. I still think story wise, the Scorpion one was the best out of the 3 so far. There are more seasons coming. Melina either dropped already or it's coming, depending on when you see this video. Okay, the spoiler section for the invasions is done, but yeah, there are seasons, and each season you can unlock different colors for the characters, either by finding them on the map itself by doing fights, or you get currency. In the currency you can buy. There's a invasion menu in the main menu that you can go and buy with like your invasion coins, and pick and choose which one you want. And these are just basically color swaps. So like the first season was yellow and black, second season was more red and like bloody and stuff like that. The third season was blue focus, so it was like blue white, you see a lot. So, and the thing is, once these seasons are done, your season money disappears, and all the maps reset again, and you have to do all the maps all over again. And it kind of becomes kind of a drag because some of these maps last a long time. So yeah, I thought this was going to be fun at first, Invasions. I did the first season, and it was frustrating as hell because every fucking character had armor on them, so it dragged on every fight, and you couldn't really do combos. Um, and then the when they did the second season, they kind of fixed this and got rid of that armor situation. More fights are more normal fights, but it revealed that invasions, when you take away the frustrating things, it just becomes flat out boring and a drag. It going through these maps over and over again, it just is not fun. Especially how long these maps last. There's no there's no map either, because after you beat the final boss of the invasions, you get a key that can go back and get more stuff. But there's no map, so when you go back to a previous invasion map, you have to just walk around, hope you're going the right way. And if someone says, "Oh, you can follow the colors," no, that doesn't help at all. It really doesn't, because I've tried and it never led me to an area that I had to go to use this new fucking key. Oh yeah, speaking of bosses, that's one of the things that kind of shine in invasions, because these bosses actually have like different, I don't know, abilities to them. Like it's more of a special fight. So like Scorpion would have like these lines like appear in the screen that you gotta dodge and everything. Sub-Zero has a cool little nod to the Mortal Kombat movie, the good one, 95, I believe is the year. Uh, it's stuff like that. So like those boss fights and sub boss fights, because in every map you gotta face a boss. Uh, you they have all like little things to them, and that makes those encounters so special. But everything else is just a fucking bore. Invasions I usually just do because of FOMO, fear of missing out. Because again, if you do not get any of these outfits in these and during the season invasion, you cannot get them again. You miss out entirely. And I have to say, like like some cases, like say Natara, her best costume is either from the invasions when you beat the final boss, or you have to pay out of money. And some of these costumes do show up again in the fucking shop, which you got to pay cold hard cash for. I'll get to the shop later, but yeah, that's another fucking whole other mess. So, and there's no way to fix invasions. I mean, you could put a map on it. They made the captain move a little faster, but it's still going to be the same problem unless you like diminish the maps to much smaller maps. Maybe it'll be a little less, I guess, aggravating, but it's still just boring. The best invasion map in the game is the Johnny Cage map, which was the introduction. And once you do that introduction invasion map, it's gone forever. Johnny Cage's was the most like eye pleasing one. The other these just get boring, and the only thing that changes is either is daytime, nighttime, or like in Living Forest, there's a regular Living Forest, and this one is on fire, and the maps kind of change too. Like and like when you're walking around, like again, it's either daytime or nighttime. That's really it. Again, Invasions is just flat out boring. I really don't know what the hell they could do to fix it. Like I said, I don't think they can. They can just make it less painful to go through. That's the best thing they can really do. You do have an arcade mode, which every character, of course, gets their own ending. What's actually kind of cool is that every ending seems to be an epilogue for the character for the story mode. So I would recommend to beat the story mode first and then do the arcade endings. Um, let's see if they stick to it, because this is NRS era, and when it comes to sticking to something, they don't really do it that well. So I'm not holding my breath of them sticking to it. You got online, which functions okay. Like I played a few matches when the game released and when season 3 was on, because after I beat season 3, I kind of just stopped playing the game entirely. And I had mostly smooth matches. There's been like I have had a laggy match here and there, but most of the matches were pretty smooth. Of course, since there's some busted characters like Raiden and so on, you'll run into those and get frustrated. But yeah, there's no, like, I'm not a heavy online person, but from what other complaints I've seen, there's no like lobbies you can make, like public lobbies. You can't just join a room. It's either a rank match or you could do a private friend match, and that's really it. And when you do a rank match, you can also, if the person, if you're having fun fighting or whatever, you could go with that person to a public match, so y'all can just keep going back and forth. There is a ranking system, and just like 11, when you rank up, you get some goodies. I think some of these goodies though, I think you can unlock during invasions or from the invasion store from the currency. So I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't spend too much time online, but the time I did spend, it wasn't too bad. But there are a lot of features lacking. They're actually adding the crossplay soon. Probably by this video is out, it's already out. But yeah, that's a long time from release until now. Like there's a lot of more missing features. You could probably look up, but from what I've heard from the online community, yeah, it's pretty freaking bad. There's also a shrine that you can spend regular currency that you get while playing the game. That currency does not disappear like the Invasion's currency. You could just spend it on the shrine. It gets you like artwork, sometimes skins, and so on. Speaking of skins, even though I've talked about it for a while, they kind of dropped the ball here because now there is a gear system here still, but it's drastically less than what it was at MK11. MK11, you had 3 pieces of gear, and I don't care what you say, even 2 pieces of that gear MK11 you could always see. There are some characters that had like the third piece of gear was like barely visible, but 2 pieces was at least visible. You can see it. Usually a mask and a weapon or something. And in this game, for some reason, they put it to 1 gear piece. So, for example, Melina and Katana, you can't change their mask, but you could change their weapon, which makes no fucking sense. So you should be able to change both of those things because both of the things are iconic. Sub-Zero and Scorpion, you can change the mask, nothing else. I don't understand this. It is stupid as hell. It makes no sense at all. We should get more gear because that adds more person. You can add more of your personal touch to the character. This feels less personalized compared to MK11. It's lesser. Also, when it comes to costume design, I have to say most of these are pretty bland. I don't care for Sub-Zero's costume or Scorpion. I thought previous games did better jobs. I'm going to compare it again to his previous entries since the most recent. Their costumes were way better. So yeah, in this game, you either bland, bad, or decent. The only like I say one of the big stars in this when it comes to reptile. Well, I already spoiled it. When it comes to really good outfits, this is one of Reptile's best designs, and I love the fact that you do get his lizard form still while fighting, so that's a nice touch. And his general outfit is really cool. His second outfit is fucking hideous, though. I don't know who thought of that, but just forget about that. But yeah, most of these like Lee May's, like I said, decent. Uh, Melina, Katana, Sindel, their outfits are, I guess, decent to bland. Like, oh, again, a lot of these. Tanya doesn't resemble Tanya at all. She looks nothing like the character. Um, like, yeah, it's a lot to be desired when it comes to costume design this time around. Like I said, Natara's best costume was her season costume, which you can't get anymore unless it shows up on the store, or you pay for her deception costume, which doesn't look exactly like the deception costume, but you got to pay for that. And you know what? Speaking of that, let's talk about the store. Another negative, because they charge too much fucking money for this stuff. For one costume, it's $10. You could get dragon crystals for like when you pre-order the game. You could have got some dragon crystals, and there are also some dragon crystals you could get when you. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The mastery system. To unlock more stuff for characters, there's a mastery system, which means you got to use the character in whatever mode to unlock their like more taunts, more fatalities, brutalities. Those are back too, which are still good. I like them still. Fatalities, they're still good. And since there's no more like MK11 where you have to pick certain, you could customize and pick moves you wanted. In this, that's gone. So every brutality you could perform easily. There's no like, oh, I don't have this move to use brutality. So yeah, that's a nice touch right there. But the mastery system itself is a fucking long grind. I put a good amount of hours in this game, but because doing this invasion shit, and I still haven't maxed out Lee May. Like she still isn't maxed out. and the only way to max it out is do a ridiculous grind. And you could get more XP before in other seasons, but it seems like NetherRealm have noticed that and they kind of decreased it, so now it's a bigger grind. So yeah, unlocking shit here is fucking annoying. But anyway, yeah, back to the store. Yeah, one costume, $10. There was a situation where they did the holiday fatalities, like the Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. I believe one of them was close to $12 by itself, and they got an immediate backlash, and they backpedaled and said no, the $12 now will get you the other holidays, so if you bought the first one you get the others too just fine. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't from the plan from the beginning. So yeah, great job guys, great job. This store fucking it nickels and dimes you. It's so expensive for this thing. For example, again, MK11 for 3 costumes. And remember, multiple gear pieces, so 3 gear pieces for each of those costumes. You got for $6 it cost at MK11. This game again, $10 for this shit. They are super greedy in this time around. I don't know what the fuck happened. Maybe WB is forcing them to do this, but it's disgusting what they're doing with the fucking store. It shouldn't be this expensive. And there's more games that I know, even Street Fighter 6, even that shit's kind of outrageous. I believe it's still cheaper. And Tekken 8 that recently came out is way less as well. At least, yeah, it's one costume for them, but it's $4 at least. Here again, it's $10 fucking dollars for a single costume with one gear piece. Fuck this shit. Fuck this store.
Hey guys, it's me. I guess I kind of forgot to talk about the roster itself. I guess I was overwhelmed with frustration talking about other stuff in the game. But yeah, the roster itself is actually pretty good. There's a nice mix of some fan favorites and even some 3D era characters, some 3D era love. You don't see that too much besides Kenshi, who seems to be the only 3D era character they give a shit about. But yeah, so you got some characters like Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Melina, Katana, Baraka, Reptile, Raiden, stuff like that, Sindel. But you also have some 3D love, like I said. You got Lee May, and you like Ashara and Havoc. And Lee May ended up being one of my favorite characters to use for a whole firework gimmick. Like it's like they're actually done pretty well. My personal favorites overall are Lee May's Sub-Zero, Geras 2. It was nice to see him come back from 11, Reiko, and actually since Reptile's design is so good here, I actually started using him as well. Oh, and the Tara too, I messed with a little bit too. Though I'm not really gelling with her, but she's still kind of fun to use. If I had to rank the roster in the NRS era, I still have to say 9 and 11 have some of the best roster in my opinion. And then comes this game, 1. I think X still is the weakest when it comes to roster. That's just it's my opinion. Disagree with me if you want, or whatever, but that's just how I feel. I will say that it kind of sucks that some of the classic characters like Sonya and Kano have been relegated to cameos. I mean, there's still fun to use there, but I would like them as full playable characters, especially Kano, as he's become a favorite over the years. I used them a lot in the previous entries. Speaking of cameos, I forgot to mention they themselves get colors too. Like the main cast, I kind of wish they got designs instead of just palette swaps, but whatever, at least it's something to unlock with mastery. And they also get their own fatality and brutality, which was a nice addition as well, to give them something a little more to do as well. There's also a training mode in this game that is basically complete these combos. And, some of them are pretty helpful building blocks to other combos you can make while playing in regular, like training mode. They also have some with cameos, but what kind of sucks is, they pick the cameos. So, the cameos you want to use are not there. You got to figure out yourself.
This game is really nice. I like how it looks visually, not withholding the costumes. Like, it's a nice, pretty game. I give it that. The effects and everything, cool. Last time I played it, there were still technical issues. Like, even when I played Invasion, when I did some fatalities, the frame rate would fucking stutter like crazy. Like, it'll slow down. I don't know what the fuck. happened there, and it sticks around. It's there for a while. There's other stuff like when you killed someone, then a brutality or fatality. Sometimes their body would just slide off screen. There are some tech issues in this game still. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Again, coming out from the other game. What the fuck? Even released on that game, there was no serious super tech issues like this. What the fuck, guys? What the fuck? Let's see what else. Oh yeah, like the thing what MK's kind of been known become known for is the conversation before the fights. Like they had it in and then of course character specific mainly they had it in 10 and they improved it in 11. And here it sucks. It fucking sucks. When the game first released, the only way you could have seen these is if you played versus, like local versus with a friend, or if you played, I believe, the not ranked matches, but player matches online. Besides, if you did not do any of those two things, you would never see any of these conversations would suck the personality out of the game. Because I didn't see this until 4 months later when they did the smart thing and put it in the game. So now when you play arcade, you can actually see these like interactions and everything. Because they did it at first, I guess, to hide the loading, which makes no fucking sense because the game is super fast when it comes to loading. Or if the people wanted to like not see it and just get right to the fight, but you could always skip it at MK11 and X. What was the problem here? Why did you fucking get rid of it from those modes? It makes no sense. It should have been an arcade mode from the get-go. And then you know what? When they and it also shows up when you face like a mini boss or big boss in Invasions. But anyway, when they actually put it in and I was introduced to it and saw it, it sucks compared to MK11. MK11, they talked way more. You could pick your pose and everything. Like, there was so much more customization in the previous fucking game. And this game, the customization is lacking. The conversation between the fighters is lacking. Everything is lacking. It is in a sad fucking state. And it's not getting better, even with the recent Peacemaker trailer. That looks, he's stiff as hell, his animation. And it doesn't make sense because they have a bunch of gun characters, MK11, with perfectly fine shooting animation. What the hell? Like, oh my God. Like, MK1 has been an utter disappointment to me. I couldn't believe how disappointed I was when it comes to the story issues, when it comes to the content, because again, it's just Invasion, arcade, or online, and Invasion fucking sucks. When it comes to like tech issues, the lack of personality, because you can't like customize your character a lot because there's only one gear slot. And there's no fucking, and again, the interaction of those characters, the pre-fight dialogue, it didn't show up in the game in other modes until 4 months later. Why? Why? Oh my God, it's just like, and again, even though it showed up, it sucks compared to the previous entry. And I know there are people who are saying, oh, who cares? The gameplay is great still. Much better than Mortal Kombat 11. That's what you usually hear. Oh, Mortal Kombat 11 was a sin from certain people. This is coming from someone who enjoyed Mortal Kombat 11's gameplay and who enjoys MK1's gameplay. If you just take that like gameplay aside, if you just like compare them in other sections, MK11 stomps on this. Cause like, yeah, there's some story, like even the story mode, like, yeah, the MK11 wasn't great either, but everything else humps just stomps on MK1. Crypt was better. Towers of Time was better than Invasions, because Invasions is basically Towers of Time but much longer. Towers of Time at least told you what you were fighting for. You saw the fights that you had to do. Like, it wasn't a drag on thing. Like, Towers of Time was so much better than Invasions, and that's what Invasion basically is just way longer and poorly thought out. So yeah, like, it's just the customization's way better. You put more personality in MK11 as well. MK1 is just lacking in all of that. The gameplay may be fun, but I didn't stick around for much. I just during time I beat the story mode, did the first invasions. It was a fucking headache, and then I played some online matches here and there, and then I would come back for a season, do that long ass grind. Then it's basically FOMO is the only thing keeping me coming back. I'm probably gonna go do Melina's season 2 when it comes in. So yeah, that's the only thing coming back. And again, it's not because I'm having fun with this. It's because of FOMO, fear of missing out. Like, oh god, this game is such a disappointment. I know they're gonna add like a add-on story mode like they did with MK11's Aftermath. I believe that's what it's called. Um, but yeah, so it was just it's not gonna save it. This I don't believe unless they like reworked Invasions completely from the ground up. It's a totally different mode, free roaming and stuff like that. How the fuck Street Fighter 6 beat MK Mortal Kombat to you can say whatever you want to Street Fighter 6, but at least it has a semi-conquest mode in it. This, oh, I don't know what the fuck they were smoking. Oh my god, like this should have been a conquest mode or just something else. This does not work. I wish the crypt was around too, freely explorable crypt. I wish that was around too. But yeah, like it's just this game again was a massive disappointment. Will I play? Still, again, yes, seasons I'll play. If my girl Jade comes as a DLC, you're fucking damn right, I will be buying her and playing her. But it's not gonna be like how I spent my MK11. I had over 100 hours plus because I put PS4 and PS5 time on it. That's probably my favorite NRS era game. You can say what the fuck you want about me. I don't care. It felt because it felt like a tweaked up Mortal Kombat 2, which is my favorite of the classic era MK games. And then just to throw it in there, my favorite 3D era MK game is Deception. So yeah, this game is a disappointment. I personally think it'll never recover from that disappointment, even if it adds against a story mode or whatever. It's just too much fundamentally messed up with it, at least when it comes to content. Unless they put a whole brand new mode or complete new invasions, nothing's gonna really change. It's just it's not. It has fun gameplay. That's the most positive I can be about this game. The gameplay is fun. Just everything else is just lacking. So much so lacking. Oh man. So hoping to my ramble, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.